Hi everyone, it's Dorcas and welcome back to my channel. It is nearing the end of 2025 and with just a couple of weeks to go for the new year, I thought that I would do a little roundup of the stationery items that I have been loving and using all year. Initially, I thought that I would keep this to just items that I bought in 2025, but in thinking, I decided to just use and present all the tools that I have been loving this year, even if I bought it in a previous year. And some of these items I've been having for at least 5, almost 10 years now, and I just keep buying them over and over. So I thought that it'd be nice to do a little roundup since I haven't done something like this on my channel before. I have also grouped them into certain categories to make this a little easier to follow, easier to just create little chapters on this video in case there is something that you're looking for specifically. Also for me to just stay organized. And so to start, we are going to go into writing tools. Now, these are the tools that I have been using long before 2025. And I'm just going to go briefly over them because some of these are tools that are very well known and very well loved. Starting with this Uniball Jetstream. Now, this is specifically, this is the one that comes with the Hobonichi Techo notebooks. Whenever you buy a planner, I don't even know if they come with just notebooks, but whenever you make an order directly through Hobonichi, you get one of these pens, and this is the one that has 3 different colors. My preferred is the regular Uni Jetstream, and let me just grab that one real quick. I had one for a long time. It's the one that's just one color, so it's slimmer than this one. And then I someone borrowed it and didn't return it. So I've been using this one as my backup, and now that I have ordered replacements, my hand needs to now get used to the new, like the slimmer version again. So my handwriting has been looking a little janky because I have to kind of switch on over again. Let me just grab that one really quickly. Okay, so these are the ones that I preferred. I bought a few of them because this model is a little harder to find for some reason. I keep seeing the black one, but the ones with the soft colors were hard to find, so I got them off of AliExpress. So I took advantage and got a few different colors. I also have a lavender slash light purple color. But now I have to get used to writing with a slimmer pen since I've been using this one for a couple months now. So that is the Uni Jetstream as my go-to ballpoint. Gel pen, I really love the Energel Clena. This one is the 0.4. I typically just tend to like the body color that I like. So I have a pink, yellow, and this one. And then I've tried the 0.5, the 0.38. 0.4 is like a nice little happy medium for me. This one, you'll probably have seen me use these in so many different like bullet journaling videos long ago. So this is the GraphGear. This is also a Pentel pen, mechanical pencil, and this is the Pentel GraphGear 1000, and I find it's really comfortable. It's a good weight because it's all metal except for this grip section here, and I like that you can replace the eraser and then just kind of go bumping it up as the eraser goes wearing down. And you just have to be mindful that the lead will fall out once you take this out. And then another thing that I really like about this pencil is that it retracts. So the point retracts when you click it. It like pops out when you click this, and then to have it retract, you click the clip. So it goes back in to protect the lead so it won't snap off in your bag or poke holes. And then for my preferred brush pen, I have tried, I'll use the Tombow markers, which I have some right here. I'll use the Tombow markers from time to time if I want to do a big heading, but I still just prefer the Pentel Touch pens because I just feel I have more control over them. I also have used the Funosuke hard tip and the soft tip pens, but I just come back to this one because um, I like how my handwriting looks in this one. The letters aren't super big, so it doesn't take up a ton of space, uh, and it comes in all kinds of colors. So, for example, I just used both of those recently. So this I used the Tombow brush pen, and then for I used the Pentel Touch here. So it's just a little more condensed so I can actually have space to write things. But when I don't have a lot to say, I will use a big Tombow brush pen so that it takes up more space. And those are my writing utensils, kind of my everyday utensils. But when I am journaling, I'll use these for planning, for, layouts, things like that. But when I am doing my journaling and just long form writing, I will go to my fountain pens. So for fountain pens, I have bought quite a few this year, although most of my collection is still from pens that I have bought pre-2025, and I will kind of link that video of me going through my entire fountain pen collection in the cards above, as well as the description below. And I know in that video I said that I was going to halt on buying more fountain pens, but if you then saw my Majohn and Jinhao video, you saw that I bought a couple of more cheaper dupes, and a couple of more Jinhaos have arrived since that video. But when it comes to my absolute favorite, the ones that I have been grabbing for the past several months are my Hachimonjiya pens, and then this TWSBI Espresso, and then this one. These three I bought over the past, I guess, these were from the San Francisco Pen Show. This one was right before that. So in the spring, maybe early summer is when that one arrived. My friend gifted that one to me. And then I've also been using this Moonman Majohn A2 pen, but with a Pilot Vanishing Point nib. Again, I mentioned that it has the real Vanishing Point nib unit housed in this pen body that is supposed to mimic the Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo. I love that I can just kind of click and go and just jot down a few quick notes, and it's just very satisfying. Right now, there is an actual Majohn nib unit in this because I was trying to test a comparison with the new Jinhao 20s that have arrived. But for the most part, this just stays with that nib unit, and I've been loving it all year and since I got it last year. This one, I love TWSBIs. I have quite a few TWSBIs. Let me just pull that out real quick. So this is my TWSBI collection in addition to this one. And I have really been enjoying that espresso color because it's my only TWSBI with an EF nib. I have stayed away from EF nibs because I thought that they would be too scratchy, too thin, even though air writes, I love a thin line. That's why I can't really write with a 0.5 gel pen because it's just too thick for me. but I love this one. I have loved this. This is not scratchy at all. It's really fine. It's still super smooth. And it's just an absolute pleasure to write with this TWSBI. And then, of course, we have my Hachimonjiya Kubozakura and the Ginzan Snow Gray. And these are very special pens. I will also link to the video of me explaining why I bought these pens. But these are both in medium, a medium nib, and these are my first medium sailor nibs. And it's made me just want to get more mediums in the future. I kept buying medium fine, so MF nibs, but the mediums are just so smooth and so lovely to work with. And then these are also my first Sailor Pro Gear instead of the Pro Gear Slim model. And to compare, this is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. And so it is slimmer, but I have found that the larger models are much more comfortable in my hands. Even though I have small hands, I thought the Pro Gear Slim would be better for me, but I definitely found myself gripping much less tightly with the Pro Gear model. So again, I explain all of that in my fountain pen collection video, but these are the fountain pens that I have been absolutely loving lately. There are some others, but in terms of absolute favorites that I have used this year, it would have to be these four. And then to segue from fountain pens, we are going to go into fountain pen inks. These are four that I have mostly purchased this year. This one I think was last year. This is Ferris Wheel Press Lady Rose. It is and I have my swatch book. It's just a nice, lovely, dusty pink that I was absolutely obsessed with all last year and most of this year. I had a Ginzan A2 pen that was just permanently inked with this pink. Then over the summer, I got Ginzan Snow Gray. That was at the San Francisco Pen Show to go with my Ginzan Snow Gray fountain pen, which I just showed you. This one is Purgatorio. I got this one to find a better pink for my Hachimonjiya Kubozakura fountain pen. And the one that came paired with that pen was just way too light. So at the Empire State Pen Show, I grabbed this from Fountain Pendulum and have been absolutely loving this one. And most recently, I had heard a lot about the Kobe Ink Strawberry Chocolate, or just the whole chocolate series from Kobe, of Kobe Ink. And I just inked my Kubozakura pen with this strawberry chocolate, and it is also love. I ended up getting all three in the series, so strawberry chocolate, bitter chocolate, and milk chocolate. Strawberry chocolate is the only one that I have inked a pen with so far, and it's a brighter pink than Purgatorio. So let me show you the swatches. Okay. So first, let's go with a Lady Rose. Should be pretty early on in my collection. It was one of the first full bottles that I bought. I had it as a sample, and then I ran through that so quick that I had to buy a full bottle. Next, let's go with strawberry chocolate. Let's see, might be in the pink category. Here. So that's strawberry chocolate. And the one that the color that was with the Kubozakura pen was this one, which is a beautiful pink, but just way too light to write with. So I might just save that for painting, coloring, what have you. And then this is Purgatorio. So also a dusty rose. And you'll see that this one is a little more, it's a brighter. I have a sample to show you of writing. And then finally, Ginzan Snow Gray. So it's like a blue gray. It's very pretty. So those are those. Let me find some writing samples to show you because I was just using it. So this one is Ginzan Snow Gray. I love it. I love that it's such like a, it's like a beautiful blue gray. This one is the strawberry chocolate. This one is strawberry chocolate. Let me see if I find Purgatorio. This one is Purgatorio. So I can't really, let me see if I have another sample where I can more easily compare one against the other. Here you go. So this is also Purgatorio, and then this one is strawberry chocolate. So this one is a little brighter than this one. So I'm really loving, I love Purgatorio though. I really, really enjoy it. So those are the 4 inks that I would say have been my favorite this year. I have a ton of samples, a ton of bottles, but it seems that these have been the ones that I just consistently ink my pens with. And this one, even though it's a newcomer, it's fast becoming a favorite. And now we're going to go into notebooks. And knowing me, or if you've been watching any videos in this channel, it should come as no surprise that I am such a fan of Hobonichi notebooks. I have so many of them, either that I bought or a bunch of them have been gifted to me. And I have them in A6, I have them in planners, I have them in blank notebooks, I have them in, you know, whatever form. I have the Hobonichi Hon. I just love their notebooks. And for the past 2.5 years now, I have been making my own planners using the plain Hobonichi notebooks. This one, of course, you've seen this one. It is my beast of a planner for 2025, and it has held up nicely. Now, the spine is, I'm going to show it to you, and it's going to look like it's falling apart, but that's because I bound 2 plain Hobonichi notebooks together, and the seam of the actual, like the 2 notebooks, they are doing so well. They're holding up really nicely to the chunk, and then you'll just see that the part where I put them together might look like it's starting to wear through, but again, I mean, this thing, it can hold so much. And if you see here that the part where I have combined the 2 notebooks, they're starting to maybe fall apart, but I have no doubt that this thing will hold up clearly for the rest of the year because there's only like 2 weeks left. But if you see that where the 2 notebooks are, those are still holding up nicely. And so I absolutely love these things. I have just a few here to show you, but this A6 one serves as my swatch journal, my swatch book, and it shows fountain pen inks beautifully. And this is the old Tomoe River paper. and I kind of stocked up when I knew that they were going to be switching over, but I still have a bunch of blank ones. My friend sent me a bunch that she had been hoarding, knowing full well that she wasn't going to actually use them. She sent them over to me. Um, so I have just been creating my own planners in these blank notebooks for a few years now. This is a commonplace one that I started a while ago and I want to pick back up for 2026. But the paper is wonderful. You can fit in so many pages in a slim profile because the paper is so thin. And I love it. I love it so much. What can I say about Hobonichi notebooks? They are the best. Um, I know there have been a lot of other small shops that have been creating their own not Hobonichi, their own notebooks using the same kind of paper that Hobonichi uses, the Tomoe River paper. And, obviously everyone has had to switch over to the new Sansen paper uh, because the old one was discontinued. But there's some really great covers out there. I have quite a few Sterling ink notebooks as well, but for the most part, I have been staying with the Hobonichi line because everything of mine happens in a single book. So I haven't had a lot of chance to really hop around truly. So this upcoming year will be the first one where my notebook slash planner slash journal won't be a Hobonichi. So I think I'm going to use that as a kind of jumping off point to try out new notebooks, new papers. The Faded Chronicle A5 planner uses Hobonichi paper, not the Hobonichi, the Tomoe River paper, whereas the B6 uses the Cosmo Airlight. So I'm really curious to see how I feel about the Cosmo Airlight. I've heard great things about it. I'm also really curious about the View Corona paper, which is another one that is making the rounds and has been really great for fountain pens, and fountain pen users have been really raving about that one. So I might try and score a notebook and test that out in 2026. Next, we have stickers. I have a ton of stickers, needless to be said. There are a few brands that I have absolutely loved. I mean, some I've been loving since I started on this planning journey, more, the Hobonichi kind of pre-printed planners, because when I did bullet journaling years ago, I didn't use stickers. I drew out all my layouts, I drew out all my banners, labels, just every part of my planner was drawn by me. And so when I fell into this other world of planning and character stickers, I just kind of went on this deep dive back into collecting stickers, which is something that I used to do back when I was younger, and has been a joy to get back into it and collect stickers that I have been adding to my planners. Now, some of the stickers or sticker brands that I come back to again and again are, obviously the Coffee Monsters Co. Love, love, love the Coffee Monsters Co. And I have been a part of the Coffee Monsters Co. subscription since last year, so since 2024, middle of 2024. And if you're not aware of Helen's subscription, it's, this past year it has been a quarterly model. So, and I think last year as well was a quarterly model, and there's 3 different tiers. There is snail mail, where you just get stickers. There is Washi Wizard, where you just get washi tapes. And then there's Pen Pals, which is the one that I'm a part of. And you get, all of the stickers, you get all of the washi, and then you get some other little accessories. So to stay with the stickers for now, I have been loving her Coffee Monsters Co. Tiny Icons. And I have loved using these to time block, just for habit tracking. Instead of writing out what the habit is, I just use one of these icon stickers to mark down what, each of these means something to me. So like if I wake up early, if I'm reading, so I have been tearing through these even though there's a lot of them in one sheet. I had to stock back up midway through the year because I was running out. So I've been loving the Coffee Monsters Co. Tiny Icons, as well as these little circle mini dots. So these coincide or coordinate with the 2025 uh, kits, the 2025 collection. So every month there is a different theme, and so these are the colors that go with that month's theme. And so I've been using them. This is my second set of the mini dots. Um, and I haven't necessarily stuck with, say, that month. It really depends on what colors I want to use over that week. And so then I'll just collect, use the stickers or the dots that match with that week's colors. And so this I've been using to mark down meetings or, events. Whereas these boxes, mini squares, same colors, just in square format, I've been using them as a checklist. So if there's a task or something that, say there's a cleaning schedule, which is what I did for this past weekend, or let's see. So for here, I'll do check the squares as check boxes, but then if I have a meeting, I will do the circle instead. So that's another one that I have been loving and will continue to use for 2026. I've also been using, obviously daily, these are date stickers from the Rosy Life Planner. I think planner is part of the name, but I'll link to what is still available in the description below. But I obviously use these every time I'm going to journal for that day, and I can't believe it's currently the 15th, so that one's gone, but yeah, wow, I went through all those sheets of stickers, and obviously I will use that to mark down the date of the week or the date of the journal entry. So I will put one on top and then journal, and sometimes, I won't need a full page. So wherever I stop and start, I'll plop a sticker there. This upcoming year, I won't be using this one, even though this was great. If Faded Chronicle did not have their own sticker set for dates, I would have just bought this one again. I bought, let's see, the previous year I used, let me find it. So the previous year I used these, and the name of the company escapes me at the moment, but if they still offer it, I will link it below as well. And these are also great, especially because it doesn't come with the day of the week. It's great because you can use it year round. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're still available. And then I would just put in the day of the week with a sterling ink sticker. But for 2025, I just wanted it all in one. And so that's why I went with these. And then the ones for Faded Chronicle, they are also, day of the week as well as the date of the year, which are these. So let me see. I also really took to Kubo and Lucy. Kubo and Lucy is a Los Angeles-based sticker shop, and their stuff is so cute. I first bought from them at the San Francisco Pen Show, and ever since then, they went to the Empire State Pen Show, and their stuff is just absolutely adorable. So these will be part of a stationery haul that I am working on for the end of the month. I've just kind of been filming whenever I get a new order so that I can stitch them all together and put them all in one video. But Kubo and Lucy is a sticker company that I have been really enjoying and loving these past few months. And finally, another sticker subscription that I had for the most part. I mean, I did skip quite a few months this year, but when there's a theme that I really love, I definitely want to uh, get that one. So this is Hummin and Chub Girl, and they have these amazing vinyl stickers in all these cute themes, and I also feature these in my adhesive pockets DIY video. But I tend to, gravitate toward this size of sticker sheets more so than their monthly kits for planning. I like that I can use these whenever. I don't really plan with full boxes and checklists and that come already pre-made. I tend to just create my own with these dot stickers or square stickers, and these I like to put them when I am journaling. For example, we had our first snow day in New York City, or not a snow day, we had our first snowfall this past weekend. And so I had been saving some of their vinyl stickers just for the perfect moment. And that perfect moment arrived this weekend. So those are Hummin' and Choke Girl, and they're so cute and really high quality. So they have different subscription tiers. There's like the planning, there's one for planners. So there's stickers that are for using in your planners. I have the sticker subscription, so it comes with a variety of different sticker sizes. There's different sticker materials, all within the same theme. And then there is the ultimate subscription box that comes in this beautiful box um, that I have one right here. So it comes in a box like this, and it's really hard to throw these away. But it has, and actually, you know what? I don't even remember if this is the size or if there's a slightly smaller one. Um, but it comes with pins and washi tape, and it comes with a bunch of stickers, all the stickers that are in all the other tiers, a notebook, keychains, like a mystery stationery, and it's absolutely beautiful. But I don't need all of those items, and so I just kind of bumped down to the sticker subscription and just cancel whenever I'm not really feeling the theme, and then click it back on if I know that the theme for the following month is a cute one that I'm going to want. So washi tapes are the next stationery item that I have the most of after stickers, and maybe like right in there with notebooks. In terms of the brands that I tend to collect, I would say Coffee Monster's Co. is right up there, followed by Every Minute a Story and Subtle Dreams. But this past year, I have been trying to branch out and look at other stationery shops that also carry washi tapes to try those out. And I have collected a few of those. But to start, the ones that I have been using the most of, or kind of reaching for, loving, it would have to be Coffee Monsters Go. Uh, it would be these two, just because I love the cozy vibes and the colors. This one is from, I want to say, quarter two subscription, and it was just very cozy. The colors are right up my alley because my own house is made up of these colors. So there's terracotta, there's obviously mustard, which is evident by, my couch looks just like this. And there's a throw that is also kind of brown and terracotta that I tend to leave on my couch. But I love this, just totally called out to me. And so I've been using these two a lot in my spreads. So that is Coffee Monster, and I have my swatch book so that I will show you what they actually look like when you put them down. This one is from Kubo and Lucy, and it is a New York City themed washi tape. So how could I say no? This is a little pin. I just received this pin in my Black Friday order, But I actually got this one in San Francisco. She had the San Francisco washi tape and the New York City washi tape. So I ended up getting it then. And then when she was at the Empire State Pen Show, she had it again, but I had already gotten 2 rolls of this. So I was good. And then I am not a total, or I can't say it anymore, but I haven't been a total fan of pet tape because I don't like fussy cutting, um, has been my excuse, right? But now that I've gotten these pet tapes, I actually kind of enjoy it. It's kind of meditative. I would just pop myself on the couch and then just grab some scissors, we'll watch something on TV, and then I'll just start cutting out these designs that are so cute. So this one I got at San Francisco, and it's by Tokubetsu Memory, and it's these cute cats. Like, oh, they're adorable. Um, And so I've been kind of slowly cutting through some of those designs. I've definitely already have a loop, and I have another design, a separate pet tape design, again from the same shop. And I don't remember the name of the designer because Tokubetsu Memory kind of takes a bunch of different, I want to say Taiwanese brands, um, and sells them through her shop. This one is from Kubo and Lucy, and I only just got it, so even though it's not a favorite because I have used it all year, it's a favorite because it's my first pre-cut pet tape roll. So the stickers are already cut out, so I don't have to worry about fussy cutting anything because they just peel right off of the backing paper. And so this is where I've been keeping my pet tape snippings, just so that I can keep it all organized. These include pet tapes from friends. The thing is, these rolls are so thick that I will never get through all of these. So pet tape is great to share with friends. You can give each other samples. I know there are shops that sell samples, so if you don't want to invest in a full roll of a design, and a lot of stickers come in one design, you can just buy a sample. So I need to, if you know any shops that sell pet tape samples, please let me know, because I think that's the route I want to go, moving forward, instead of buying a full roll of one design. So this is my little pet tape collection. Ideally, I would peel all of the backings out and put it in a reusable sticker book so that then I can more easily see what I already have in this little pile. And so then to show you what these other 3 washi tapes look like, let's see if it will stay. Nope. So Coffee Monsters. And there's a few others. There's quite a few that I love, but when it comes to actual use, it was definitely this one. And that one's called Antiques from the Attic, and that was from a quarter to subscription. And then Homebody Emojis right here. So again, I have amassed lots of washi tapes this year from previous years. So this is just a very small taste of what I've been using most frequently because I love them so much. Next, let's move on to pencil cases. I have a lot of pen and pencil pouches, but I have pulled out the 2, or actually 4, that I have been using a lot this year, 2 that I have bought this summer, and then 2 others that I bought last year. A couple of them are just for fountain pens. Those are the ones that when I'm going to a pen show or to a meetup, it's what I use to bring as many pens as possible while keeping them safely tucked away and cozy so that they will not get scratched or just hurt in any way. And then I have another one that is a little more rugged, and I'm not afraid about just throwing whatever in there, and it can hold quite a lot. So the first one that I'm going to go with are these two, and they are from Hurlstone. Hurlstone is a woman-owned small shop that is in New Zealand, and I first learned about this when I was getting ready for the San Francisco Pen Show or thinking about going. I was looking at past videos, and I saw that one of the videos she had a wander pouch, and a wander pouch can hold 6 to 8 different pens, even more if you kind of tuck them in between the slots. But this is an 8 pen pouch, and so here I can kind of put all of my pens. There's space in here to put a like a little notebook or field note in there, and then I also just stuff more pens in between the slots because I know that it's so roomy that I know they won't really get knocked around or touch each other. You can choose the fabric that goes on the outside as well as the velvety fabric that goes on the inside. And this one is a hybrid custom one that, again, I saw someone in a video had this version, and so I reached out to her to make one for myself. And I used this upholstery fabric on the outside, combined with this really soft fabric on the inside. And again, they're very safe in there. My pens, it's like a cute little home for them. Rickshaw. Of course, I have a rickshaw pouch. This was probably my second one. I have a couple of other pen sleeves that were gifted to me. And then this one I bought at the Yoseka Stationery Fest in 2024. And I will keep the pens, like my ballpoint, my gel pens, my pencils in this outside pocket because I know that I'll just need to grab it a lot. And then inside there is more velvet, and you have 3 slots over here. This one is one full, full pocket, and then you can also stuff things in here. So I would put I would put my fountain pens in the slots and then just stuff it full of other pens, brush pens, pencils, other tools, small scissors, and I mean it really holds quite a bit. And then another one that I have been using more so lately than when I first got it is this Superior Labor by Wonderlust. So Wonderlust is kind of the sister brand of the Superior Labor, and let's see, when did they drop this one again? I want to say, yeah, last year, June, or yeah, June of 2024 is when they re-released these colors, this style. This is the macaron, I want to say pink. And it is just like the other Superior Labor utility pouches where it zips open. And you have this zipper pouch here, this zipper compartment, and you can put lots of stuff in there, maybe bulkier items. Right now I have my kind of fountain pen little napkin things. I have tape runner, little washi tape cutter, all kinds of things. And then here you can put your fountain pens or just other pens that you might need to pull out, more frequently. There is a field notes notebook back there. I haven't used it. I think I got it for free from a D-stash, and it's just been living there, but you can also fit that in here just so that you can see. You can tuck a little field note or a little pocket notebook in there. Another thing that's really interesting about this is that you can fit a gallon leather um, pen slot, like the little pen sleeve thing that comes with their zipper pouches. You can fit one in there. Um, and yeah, so this kind of just stays open on my desk, and I just use it to like as a bucket almost, you know, as I'm using tools, I kind of just collect them in there and just, you know, hold, and it holds my stuff in place so that it's not rolling around. And then I can just kind of zip it up and take it to go. It also can hold, let me grab a smaller notebook. It can hold an A6 notebook easy, and then just zip it up and go. So this has been really nice. It's a little bulkier to take on the go. So again, it mostly stays at home, but you know, it's really useful, and it's pretty. Continuing with other storage solutions, these aren't necessarily for pens or pencils, but I still use them to house things and keep my life organized. Starting with these plastic pouches or plastic envelopes from the Coffee Monsters Co. That I use to just, depending on the size, they store different things. So for example, this one has um, stickers that I still need to uh, store away or organize. So I just, instead of having them pile up on my desk, which is what they've been doing for the past several weeks, um, I just have them all tucked here until I'm ready to get back to them. I also use them, let's see, I have one for my vinyl stickers that I have been putting aside to use for my 2026 setup. So those are all in here. These have sticker flakes, so I just keep these in here, and they are so cute. So I have, let's see, some different designs. Super cute. Check this one out. I have, this is an A5 size, I would say. So I've been using it to store the kits that I have been getting for my 2026 setups as well. I have another A5. Let's see. Well, I can't find it, so I am going to just show, so, you know, it would be around this size, and then I would just tuck it in here and keep it all organized. I think what I'm going to do for 2026 is just bring along or separate the stickers and the themes that I want to use for a particular month instead of having the full year all together, just so that it's easier to pick and choose what I want to use for a particular spread. Another thing that I have been really enjoying is this Toyo Steel box, and I got this in, where was it? San Francisco. Yeah, I got it in San Francisco. I want to say from Miso Paper. Can't remember, but it is what I use to house all of my ink, fountain pen inking and cleaning tools. There's silicone grease, there's some blunt syringes, there's one of my nibs, I think it's from a Jinhao. And so I have converters and cartridges and just kind of ink swatching tools, all these little things that I want to, again, contain in one place so that I'm not running around searching for a particular ink or converter that goes with a particular brand. It's just all here, and it's very pretty and matches my house's theme, so it just stays on my desktop. I kind of do wish that I had gotten a bigger one, and so I think the next thing I'll get, the next thing, you know, if I buy another Toyo's toolbox, will be a larger one so that I can maybe keep ink bottles in there, or just, you know, a little more storage space than this really slim profile. Of course, I can't talk about storage of any type without talking about this prized possession of mine that I got when I went to the DC Pen Show. Initially, I had intended to get it when I went to San Francisco, but I was happy to go to DC just a month before and been able to get it there instead, which was great because it is kind of hefty, or it's not heavy, but it takes up a lot of room, and so bringing it back from San Francisco would have been more work than just hopping on the Amtrak and taking it from DC. And that is the Toyuka Craft Box. And I absolutely love this thing. It is kind of permanently situated in my desk, and it is so pretty. The wood is gorgeous. Let me see if I can hold it up so you can see the size of it. Um, there you go. So it is a 3-drawer pen storage box, and initially it came with this kind of insert to put your pens on there, and it's velvety soft. It's very pretty. You could get different colors. So I got a combination of pinks and blues. So, and then, there would be one in each of the drawers. But what I found is, and what made me almost regret getting this size, is that I could only fit 24 pens in this box. Um, and obviously, I have more than 24 pens now. And I was like, ugh, I wish I had either gotten a larger one or that the inserts were different. And so, what I got, I think it was a month ago, I got this separate insert through another company. I think they're more like a warehouse type of store, an online store. And they might have a brick and mortar in Philadelphia where they're based. But I was able to almost double, yeah, almost double the capacity of this box just from getting these inserts. And so instead of having the pens go, there's just 6 slots to go horizontal, I was able to have them go in this direction instead and cut out these inserts to fit perfectly in this box. And I am so thrilled because now I feel like, okay, now it was worth it, uh, because I can hold like nearly 50 pens through this method. And so what I got, so in addition to this storage, Toyuka craft box as a favorite, I will have to say that getting these plastic inserts that are coated in velvet was totally worth it. And it was so cheap. I don't know if it was even 20 bucks. I think it was less, but you get a pack of 4. And I was able to cut out inserts for each of the drawers. Let me push it back. Each of the drawers with mostly just one of the sheets. For some of them, yeah, so this one, they all go in the same direction, the top 2. For this one, not all of my pens need all of this space. So I was able to fit a few going in this direction and then a few going in that direction so that I can have my, regular size pens going here, or even like my minis, whereas the others can fit just nicely on the side there, and same down here. So definitely the Toyuka craft box is an absolute favorite. I love that all of my pens are just within reach. They're off to my side on my desk. And so I can, keep my favorite ones, the ones that are currently inked, and the top shelf there. And then I can just kind of pick and choose whatever color I want to write with that day. Okay, we are now in our final category, which I have labeled as just accessories slash miscellaneous. And these are other little tools that, again, make my planning and journaling life much easier and keeps me organized and just helps me with just enjoying this hobby even more. I'll start with something very utilitarian, which are these double stick tapes. So these are double-sided stick tapes, from Hobonichi, and they are pre-cut strips of tape, and you know, they're double-sided, so you'll stick one side down and then peel off this backing paper to stick down ephemera or photos. I use these all the time, so I bought quite a few at the beginning of the year. And so I run through these really quickly. And so they are not, you know, the cheapest things. And I realized that, hey, I already have this thin strip of tape that I have used for bookbinding. It's what I've used when I started combining my Hobonichi notebooks. And what I started doing a month ago is just cutting this down into smaller usable strips because I wasn't using it after I bound my notebooks, and it's already bought. Might as well put it to use. So what I use, and I still have, I think another batch of these Hobonichi tape strips, so I'll still use those. But what I've been doing is taking, once I've run out of, you know, any kind of sticker sheet, I will use that release paper and cutting a bunch of these down in different lengths. So I have kind of a longer ones, I have little mini ones, so that then when I'm on the go and I have, say, a receipt or even pictures, I can just stick it down with this. I have not been using my tape runner, so that's why it's not in my favorites for this year, because I found that when I am sticking down my photos, and my photo printer will be making a cameo soon, um, when I have my photos, I like to peel off the most of the back of the paper to make it even slimmer, and then the tape runner won't work on that because that's fuzzy, and so the it doesn't really stick on. It'll just pull up more of that fuzzy backing. So these little tape, double-sided tape strips work perfectly, and they're super slim, so they do not add any bulk. So this is definitely something I've been using consistently all year long. Next, we have, well, since we already started talking about it, my photo printer. Definitely a favorite. I used to have the HP Sprocket, and it was super old, so it started to die on me mid-print, and I would get so annoyed because those little sticker photo papers are not cheap. So I ended up buying this Mini 2 Retro. I got it last year summer and have been using it consistently all year long. I definitely print out more pictures now, which is something that I want to continue into 2026, because if I don't print it, it just kind of gets buried in my phone. So this is just a nice way to have something to flip through when the year is over, and it helps me actually visualize my year because I can see the pictures, see the smiles, or you know, whatever it is that I wanted to memorialize. um, this makes it really easy to print it out. um, is there a cheaper way to print out pictures using the printer I already own, like my full-size printer? Yes, but am I going to actually create a collage so that I can fit multiple pictures in one sheet and make it worth it? Probably not. So this just makes it easy for me to just continue with um, this habit of mine. We've got some scissors here. This is my, I'll have to remember the brand. I definitely saw it in a shop recently and I was like, oh look, it's the scissors I have. These are my to-go scissors. I love them. Oh, here's the brand right here. It's been so long. Um, I don't know, it just says Nonstick Plus. So obviously not the brand, but love these. These I've had for at least like a decade. These are Cutter Bee scissors. I just recommended these to my friend. This is from EK Tools. Um, they are super sharp all these years later, and they are just great for fussy cutting and getting into corners and just very precise. And I like that it comes with this little cover, so I'm never going to poke myself. We've got some clips. This one is from Penco. They're both like, oh my goodness, they're a workout. This is from Coffee Monsters Co. And when your book gets very bulky, it's just nice to have some clips to hold the book not only open to a certain page. Let's see, let's go here, but also taut, so that then my writing surface isn't like crinkled. It's just nice and, tight, so that then it's not bumpy or lumpy or what have you. I just like kind of pulling at the paper and then just clamping it against the rest of the book. So I have quite a few of these Coffee Monsters Co. ones now. So I have 3. That one is the first one that I got. Then I got this one. And then I just received this one last week. And when you turn them over, you also get a different design. Lots of butts. Lots of butts. But very cute. So I have those. I have this one. Those are the ones that I've been using the most. Even though I have a Travelers Company clip that I got this summer, I have that, with my Travelers Company notebook. And because I haven't been using my Travelers Company notebook, I haven't been using my Travelers Company notebook clip. Here's another Coffee Monster tool. I have this in silver right here, or this one is the rose gold, and silver is somewhere around, all within reach. So I have these, and I use them interchangeably, depending on what color I'm vibing with. All year long, I've been mostly with this rose gold one because it seemed to fit the tabs, the little Midori clip tabs, better that I have on my planner, which I guess that's another favorite tool. I mean, these Midori clips they're perfect. They're great. They're slim, and then I just move them from week to week as I need them. So definitely Midori index tabs. Don't sleep on them. They're great. The only thing is that when you're using them on really thin paper, they can tear the paper if you're not super careful. So that was a little bonus. I wasn't planning on adding that one to the list. But definitely these rulers, I use it to cut washi tape when it's down on the paper. I use it to just measure out the spacing of things, not necessarily using the little, the measurements, the actual millimeters or what have you, centimeters. I just kind of eyeball it and then just kind of estimate. This has been a long time favorite of mine, the silver one, because it's magnetic. And so I've been able to attach it to a planner cover inside and hold it in place with an ollie clip. The other two are not magnetic. We've got some, and then maybe this should have gone with stickers, but these are some sticky tabs. This one, love this one. This one I got from Daiso a couple years ago, maybe last year. I can't remember. I think it was actually 2023. This is what I use when I want to make a note of something and put it in my planner, but I haven't committed to that, or it still hasn't been plans that are solid. So I just write it on this and plop it on my calendar. And then once it's been confirmed, then I'll write it on the calendar. Or if, I want to move it from date to date, that's there. These I only bought because I couldn't find these for 2025. I only just found them like a week ago. They were tucked in a planner cover that I was considering for next year, and that's where I was hiding. So I like these more than these because it's smaller. So if it takes up less space on the calendar. These I have been using, and it's fine. Let's see. I don't think I have any in place Now that we're at the end of the year, everything's been obviously confirmed. But it would just take up way more room in my, under that date. But I did keep a batch of each color in the back of my planner, which is what I typically do, is put in sticky notes and tabs and post-its in the back so that I have them on hand as I'm planning. Same with here, I have some of these rectangular ones as well. But these from Daiso, definitely, I love these. And now that I found them, I'm going to stick with these for 2026. I won't go, they're made of vellum, so they're very thin. Only thing is you can't really write with them with a gel pen, but since I plan mostly with a ballpoint, that was not an issue. So these definitely, these little vellum tabs and sticky notes. And I think last but not least are my Sterling ink tabs. I have mentioned this in my Faded Chronicle unboxing and review, that I am using, or you know what? I forgot. There was some video I recently posted where I am using my Sterling ink tabs, and I've already tapped up my planners. And these are from the subscription kit that I used to have from Sterling ink a couple years ago, up until last year, I want to say. And I have plenty more to go for a couple more years. So I just love these because they're super easy to fold. They are indented, so they have little cutouts, so it just makes it really easy to fold. And until you fold them over and stick them, I was able to reposition them without tearing the paper or anything. And I also didn't press down too hard on them, so they didn't stay super stuck. But I love them. They're very simple, they're very minimal, with just a little hint of florals. So they add just the right amount of decor to your tabs. I have used them for so many years, and this is, after 12 months, they are good as new. They're not dirty. I don't know, there's kind of like a plasticky texture or paper, so dirt doesn't really stick to them. They're just great. And I love that they're bendable, so they're not stiff, so I don't have to worry about them creasing or anything. They hold up quite nicely, and I think this was the third year that I've used them. So those are my stationery favorites from 2025. Thanks for sitting through this whole video. It was nice to just take stock of the tools that I've actually been using compared to, I have way more stationery obviously than I've shown, but you like what you like. And these are the tools that I can swear by because I've been using them not just this year, but in years prior. And I don't foresee myself not using them for 2026. So if you're trying to add to your collection, or if you're just curious to know, how I make planning and journaling work for me, hopefully you learned something new. I would love to hear, what are some of the tools that you would add to your list of 2025 favorites? And if not for 2025, just kind of all time, what are your go-tos? What are your favorite pens and pencils and storage solutions? Because I'm always here to hear and learn more. Not necessarily to buy, because I have more than enough, and I am enjoying the things that I have. There's if it's not broke, don't why fix it? Like scissors, I'm good on scissors and rulers and photo printers, and the ones that I have been working really great for me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments below, which of these tools you already have or have tried. Are there any that you're like, absolutely not, that sucks? Totally tell me anyway. I will see you all in my next video. I'm trying to crank out a bunch more videos before the year is over. And yeah, I will see you soon. Bye.